Okay, so we've already discovered that all the lines that are drawn on the Cartesian plane have an equation, right? And we said that equation is y is equal to mx plus c. We also said that in this equation, m and c are the only numbers, right? M and C represent actual numbers, right? So now we want to look at how we can find the equation of a line. If you're going to find the equation of a line, you simply need to find the value of M and find the value of C, and then you plug them in. So for example, if I found that the value of M through some calculation was 3, and then the value of C was minus 4, I simply place those values there. I'll have Y is equal to 3x minus 4 as my equation, right? So let's have an example and see how we can practically go about this. So for an example, a line passes through the points, let's say 2, 3, and 5, 11. Find the equation of the line, right? So now what we said earlier on was if we're going to find the equation of a line, we simply need to find the value of M and find the value of C, not the most clear color there. We need to find the value of M and find the value of C. So now let's take these 2 points and first of all start with our M. So we can start with our M, our gradient. Okay, our points are 2, 3, and 5, 11. 2, 3, 5, 11. Now we know the first point will be x1, y1. Second point is x2, y2. And we know that our gradient is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So our gradient is going to be 11 minus 3 all over 5 minus 2. 11 minus 3 gives us an 8. 5 minus 2 gives us a 3. So that's our gradient there. We can be assured that our gradient is going to be 8 over 3. So that's our gradient. Now that we know our gradient is 8 over 3, we started off with this equation, y is equal to mx plus c. But in the process of calculating, we found the actual value of m. So we can substitute m with its actual value, which is 8 over 3. So we'll have y is equal to 8 over 3x plus c. No need to say m because we now know the actual value of m. But now we have to move to our next part of the problem, and that is c. We now need to find the actual value of c. Now, what is c? C is the y-intercept. It represents the point where the line cuts the y-axis. Now, if we had a picture of the line, we would simply look at the picture and we'll be able to see where it cuts. But we don't have that in this situation. So we must find a way of calculating c. So how do you do that? We take our equation as far as it has developed. This is how far our equation has developed. Y is equal to 8 over 3x plus c. And then we use any one of the initial points. We had the point 2, 3, and we had the point 5, 11. We pick any one of those points. It really doesn't matter which point you pick. So I can pick the first one, right? If I pick the first point, I know my every, so this is the pair of coordinates, right? It will have an x value and a y value, right? 2 is the x value and 3 is the y value. So what I do is I go to the equation, substitute x with 2 and substitute y with 3. So my equation becomes 3 is equal to 8 over 3 times 2 plus c, right? I substituted my x with 2 because that's the x value. I substituted my y with 3 because that's the y value. Then this becomes 3 is equal to 8 times 2 is 16. So 16 over 3 plus c. All right? So I need to continue. Let me take that to the next page. 3 is equal to 16 over 3 plus c. To find c, I take 16 that side. So 3 minus 16 over 3 is equal to c. Right? 3 is the same as 3 over 1. Okay? So for fractions, we need a common denominator. Between 1 and 3, the common denominator will be 3. Right? 1 into 3 is 3. 3 times 3 gives you a 9. Minus 3 into 3 is 1. 1 times 16, you get a 16. Then 9 minus 16, that's going to give you a minus 7 over 3. And that's going to be our value of c. So that's how we get our value of c. Now, if you've noticed, we found our value for m, right? Our value for m was 8 over 3. Our value for c was minus 7 over 3. Now, since we know y is equal to mx plus c, we can remove our m and our c, and then we'll get y is equal to 8 over 3x minus 7 over 3. So that right there is our equation of the line. Y is equal to 8 over 3x minus 7 over 3. That is it. That's your answer. Now, some people may prefer not to have the denominator. So if they have something like y is equal to 8 over 3x minus 7 over 3, they might multiply throughout by 3 to remove the denominator. So this gives you 3y is equal to 3 into 3, 1. 1 times 8, 8x minus 3 into 3, 1. 1 times 7, 7. So this is another way of representing the same equation, right? So this is another way that the same equation can be represented. It's not really always necessary, but you may be asked to do so in some situations. You should just be careful to note that since there is now a coefficient on y, this is not the m and this is not the c. You have to remove the coefficient on y, these 3, for you to get the actual m and actual c. And we do that by dividing by 3 throughout. But for now, you can be satisfied with this being the answer that you were looking for. You found your m and then you found your c.